Hello, everybody. I'm Andy.
And I'm Sean.
And this is the Commander's Brew.
This week, Jeskai token Squall.
Welcome back, everybody. It's episode 136 of the Commander's Brew podcast. Sean, how are you doing?
Oh, I am doing great.
Great news.
Simple answer. I don't know. That's a tough question to answer.
Things are going great. Things are going well. We got the show. We get to play Magic once in a while. What more can you ask for?
Yeah, right? Great day. Cute cat in the background trying to climb up your bookshelf.
Oh, yeah. She's a true menace. She did ruin our previous recording of this episode, which we are now re-recording. Luckily, we were only a few minutes in, so it's not that big a deal.
Yeah. The only thing we really missed was my smooth intro to the show premise, which is a Brew and Commander decks, which is what we are here to do. This deck comes in at under $50 as always. No cards over $5 as most ways, and we're brought to you by you guys, the people listening. Really are like the big force behind this. Like that's sort of like what fuels us to go. So just thanks for listening. That's it. Extra thanks to the people who have decided to be generous with their money as well as their time and donate to our Patreon B patrons. Y'all are in our Discord chat automatically and other rewards based on level. And thank you to Ultimate Guard for, sleeves and boxes and man, them boulders, them archives. That's what I'm all about. And last but the first sponsor we ever had, the Wizards Tower, wizardtower.com. Let's hear an ad from them now.
This one goes out to all the dinosaurs there. I also am a dinosaur, and sometimes dinosaurs can get enraged, but it's not always good for a person or a dinosaur to be enraged all the time. I think it's important that we need to relax and count to 3. It's important to take up a hobby. Maybe you like going for walks in the jungles, or maybe you like to explore new areas and see what wonderful nature things has to offer. You must be careful though, because we're always being hunted, and if we get hunted, we get angry. And we're trying not to do that. So what about a hobby? Maybe something to put your energy in, like playing Magic cards? Maybe you could go to the Wizards Tower, wizardtower.com, and order Magic singles, shipped for free anywhere to Canada if you order $15 or more, and use coupon code ILOVEBREWS, and you'll get an extra 5% off, and you'll get 3% kickback on your next order. Did I say 5% twice? What is it? So we got 5% from I Love Bruise, 3% kickback. I'm not good at math, and it's making me angry. Oh no, I'm getting angry.
Yes. Humorous yet relatable.
That's what they tend to be. Wicked. So we did 2 weeks of Iron Brews, and we had a very good time doing that for the last 2 shows. However, in our excitement, we forgot to mention the fact that we had a very big and fun Magic Day for my birthday, which was a couple weeks ago now.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you. You did say happy birthday on the day, so
I did,
you're good. But not
for those listening now, this is what it is. Yeah.
We got together during the daytime and we played some Unstable. We played Commander. We had a very good time. It was the first time that we got to do Unstable. We actually haven't managed to do it before then, so we're definitely late on that train. But it was fun.
Better late than never.
Yeah, right. And it was a good time.
I think you can still get boxes of Unstable relatively cheaply. I think.
Oh yeah.
I think they're less than normal boxes.
I bet you. Well, they weren't at first. Weren't they just the same price as like a regular box?
I think they were slightly less.
Well, they should be anyways. But you get those cool lands, you get those cool tokens. I didn't know about the tokens until we physically opened the packs.
Yeah, one guy one of our friends in our play group, Guy, brought his box over for us to draft with. And sometimes when we draft, we'll have it where everyone just kind of chips in for their packs and keep what you open. But sometimes people are like, hey, man, I'm just going to fund this box, draft whatever you want. Just give me all the cards when you're done. And we're like, yeah, no problem. Save us all some money. But then we're like, oh, I know for me, I'm going to open all these cool, like really sexy foil tokens and lands. I'm like, I kind of want to keep these.
I know. I really wanted to keep some of them too. Yeah. But of course, that was Guy's box. He's planning on maybe making a little cube, a little uncube.
Yeah, that would be very cool.
Would be very cool. Very fun. And it would be cool, I think, if you're going to do that, to like mix it with some like real Magic cards too, like some black border, because there are cards that care about black border cards and stuff like that. So that'd be fun.
Yep. And I think there's plenty of black border cards that play into some of those that aren't like just broken.
Yeah, your Krark's thumbs and things like that, right? The dice rolling cards and all kinds of stuff.
It would be a very funny cube pick if you're just like, should I pick regular cryptic command or this particular very cryptic
command? Yeah, exactly.
Which one's better for me here?
Yeah. We also played some Secret Partners Commander, and I wanted to just put out there, I just want to know, like, how many people are playing Secret Partners Commander these days out there,
where are my
listeners?
Secret Partners at?
Yeah, and what do you think of it? Because we play it because we get 5 people a lot. And it, lets us play more Commander because the games go a little bit shorter. But I'm finding that it's like making one person be able to just kind of go unchecked, and then they like kind of end up. I mean, this is what you want. You want a faster game, but there's a bit less interaction than I think I'm wanting.
I've got a little theory on that.
Sure, okay.
And so for those of you who don't know, we'll just briefly what Secret Partners is that it's a 5-person game. 2 people are on one team, 2 people are on the other team, and 1 person's a lone wolf and wants to be the last person standing. But nobody knows who's on whose team, except for there's 1 person on each of the 2 teams that are face up. So like they are publicly known, like this is red team, this is blue team. And they don't know who their backup partners are. The backup partners know who they are teamed with, but no one else knows that information. Right? So there's a lot of intrigue there. And my theory as to why I think our games go that way is nobody wants to give out any team information either way, until like a lot of people will tend to just be gently kind of playing the field, hitting the people who are also face down or face up. But I think the game might go better if people make statements, and then it's up to us to figure out if you are being honest or not.
I agree. And I was thinking this, and I think a lot of it, and maybe even too much of it, falls to the lone wolf. The lone wolf in Secret Partners needs to make the case that he's on one team or another. Like we always say the joke of I'm on your team, like all the time. Like it's a good joke. But the lone wolf is never really a factor in our games, mostly because someone will do something that like obviously protects one of the face up players. So it's like, oh, that guy's probably on my team. And then someone will do something that obviously attacks that same player, kind of thing. And it's like, okay, well, I can kind of figure out who's on whose team now. And then this guy didn't do anything, so he's the lone wolf. So I think for the lone wolf to be successful and for I think the game to be better, the lone wolf needs to take issue whenever someone does something like helps a player. Because I know. So speaking of Guy, who's been playing with us lately, Guy is he's like, I'm just gonna. He has a specific deck. I kind of actually want to do an episode about it, where he will just start helping his secret partner. He will just start helping his partner, like whether it's secret or not, and that gives it away. But like the lone wolf in that case should be like, well, that guy's not your partner. I am. I'm going to also help you. So then that person has to decide like, whoa, who's on my team? Who actually is it, right? He needs to distrust those people. So the lone wolf plays such a big part. But if you get a person who is new to Secret Partners or I don't know, just isn't. That's not like, I don't know, that's not what they normally do or something. I think the game can suffer a bit. So I was a lone wolf in one of the games we played, And I thought that, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try and make this happen. And I managed to make one of the guys like think I was his partner, but also because everyone knows I'm sneaky, did not trust me. But that's just me. That's more of a me thing.
I also feel like as the face-up person, as the publicly known player, whoever they know which team you're on,
Yeah.
I feel it's whenever I'm in that role, I talk to the secret people and I'm just like, hey, listen, you know, you've been making the joke you're on my team. Here's something you can do for me right now to prove it or not, right? To put them on the coals.
But you gotta, yeah. Okay, sorry, carry on. Yeah.
You gotta let you like. I'm gonna say you need to make this move right now to show your support for me. Knowing that, you know, it might be a difficult situation to put anyone in, but if they're my teammate, they will help me for sure. If they're the lone wolf, they will also for sure help me. And if they're not my teammate and they resist helping me, that's good information for me to have anyway. So like I feel
what I'm saying is it might not be good for your teammate to even reveal that he's on your team, depending on what's happening with him, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Like if he's in a weak spot, that means the other two can team up and take him out. You know, like it doesn't necessarily when you put someone on the spot like that in secret partner, it doesn't necessarily mean they're on your team if they can't help you or don't help. Like there's also the thing of like maybe I can't really help you. You know, like
it's true. Yeah, I do like the politics involved, but when everyone sits back and waits for everyone else to make the move, it's less fun.
It is. It's a bit less fun, and you end up. That's when you end up with like one person just ends up kind of running away with it, and then it's like well then why aren't we just playing regular commander when like we would all check a person who's going crazy and running wild, you know, like
yeah, I agree with
part
you.
of the but I mean, you know, whatever. Anyways, didn't want to get too deep on that, but just wanted to bring it up. And if anyone out there's playing secret partners, if they have any, you know, fun tips, maybe there's a couple of little house rules or something maybe you bring in.
Oh yeah,
I'd love to know about them.
Yeah,
hit us up on Twitter. But let's get into this deck.
Talk about this deck. So this is a deck idea. I'm calling this Jeskai token Squall. Squall is another word for a storm because it's not exactly storm, but it's sort of storm.
Mm-hmm.
That's the idea behind it.
Okay.
I like Jeskai as a colors. I haven't brewed a Jeskai deck before, or I have, but like I don't have one in real life. I'm like, this could be one that I want to do. So who's the commander? The commander is Shu Yun, the Silent Tempest. 2 and a blue, legendary human monk, 3/2. He's got prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, he gets +1/+1 till end of turn. And whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may pay Hybrid Boros twice. So 2 mana total, red or white. If you do, target creature gains double strike until end of turn. Now, we did a Shu Yun deck specifically way back when it was a new card.
Episode 8, we did it for... No, it wasn't new.
It wasn't new?
No, it was not new, but it was when we were going back and looking at Tarkir block as our theme.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Shu Yun.
I also wanted to bring up just very quickly, in our Duretti episode, I think I mentioned, like, we haven't taken a look at Duretti since that set came out. But that set came out before we were a show. So
yeah.
we actually never did that. But anyways, carry on.
Yeah. Time, right? Time flies. So Shu Yun, if you've played against Shu Yun before, you know that Shu Yun can be a very explosive commander and has the ability to just Voltron up and just kill someone in one shot. Give Shu Yun any sort of unblockability between his prowess and his double strike. It's pretty easy to get 21 commander damage, but that is not the main goal of this deck necessarily. That is something we are able to do. We're fine to try that, but we want to get them tokens out. We want to pump them up, and that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing at Jeskai styles.
All
yeah.
Right. Jeskai token styles.
Yeah.
Great.
So let's so most importantly, we're talking about making those little tokens. And the reason I want to focus on a bit of a storm thing is I want to make tokens by casting spells. I want casting spells to be what makes tokens.
Right.
So let's start with Docent of Perfection. 3 blue for an insect horror. It's 5/4 flying. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a 1/1 blue human wizard creature onto the battlefield. Then if you control 3 or more wizards, transform them. So basically, your third one. When you cast your third spell, and that means if you have no other wizards already on the battlefield. It's possible you've got an incidental wizard here or there. I haven't actually looked to see how many wizards are in here that are not tokens.
Shu
But
Yun's a monk, so he's
Shu
not a
Yun's a monk,
wizard, so
not
don't
Shu
worry
Yun.
about that.
So Dose of Perfection will transform into Final Iteration. It has flying. Wizards you control get +2/+1 and have flying. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a 1/1 human blue wizard again. So, but that will become a 3/2 flying
Cool.
wizard. Now, I just want to say, I love so much how this is Delver of Secrets, and that they have made a card. They have Delver of Secrets. It was a 1/1 wizard that turned into a 3/2 flying, and then they made another intermediate one. I forget what that one was, but it's like kind of bigger. It's a bigger version of it, and this one turns into Final Iteration, and the little wizards he makes turn into little Delvers of Secrets.
Yeah, it's really great.
Now, instead of the wizard working on an insect, the insect works on the wizards.
Yeah,
Interesting.
That's very cool.
Probably my most favorite flavorful card.
What's the
wizard
one in
ever
the
made.
middle?
Oh boy. Well, it's a transform. If you look up transform, that's the way to find it. It's from Shadows over Innistrad.
Okay, you carry on and I'll find it.
Okay. Okay. So that's one way we're going to get a bunch of tokens. I mean, I guess this is technically a different way to get tokens. It's Assemble the Legion. We're not casting spells to make this happen, but 3 red,
I found
white...
it right away. Wow, it's the first thing that comes up. Sorry about that. I found it. I might as well just do it now.
Might as well.
It's Aberrant Researcher. It's the 3/2, so it's already like the Delver side, like the other side of Delver, and then it flips into a 5/4. Yeah, pretty simple. Okay, anyways, sorry, carry on now. Assemble the Legion.
And it flips into the front side of this one, right?
Basically, yeah, perfected form it's called.
And it chains up. It just keeps. That's a very cool design. I really like that design.
Perfected form is like docent of perfection. And then it's Final Iteration. Yeah.
Wow.
Cool. Love it.
Aberrant Researcher.
Yeah.
Cool.
Neat.
Cool. Starts. Oh man, I love it. Anyway, the next token generator we're talking about is Assemble the Legion. And every upkeep you put a muster counter on it, and then you put a 1/1 red and white soldier creature with haste for each muster counter. So this is going to just start generating a ton of tokens. That's another great way. Andy, why don't you take the next way to make tokens?
Sure, we got Metallurgic Summonings. Love this card. 3 blue for an enchantment. And it says whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create an XX colorless construct artifact creature token, where X is that spell's converted mana cost, and then you can pay 3 blue to exile Metallurgic Summonings and return all instant and sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. You can only activate this ability if you control 6 or more artifacts.
Now, we've probably got a mana rock or two in there. But every time we're casting little spells, which is what we're trying to do, we're a storm deck after all.
We're a Squall deck, but anyways.
We're a Squall deck. We're making we're generating a ton of little artifacts. And they're not going to be huge necessarily, but that's not what we're about. We're about wide, not tall.
Right. This card's great. I mean, that secondary ability, like, you might not even use it, but the fact that it's there, it's so great. We've talked about this card a lot on the show. It's really good.
Well, I think so. I mean, we can jump ahead. This is one of the 3 stars of the deck. No, spoiler alert.
Right on. Okay.
But because of that second ability, because most of our spells are really cheap and they help us draw. They're like very cantrippy because that's what we want to do. If you're able to like activate that second ability and just put so many cheap cantrippy spells back in your hand, you can like double storm. Like this is such a great enabler for what we're trying to do.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So next category is the spells. How are we casting so many spells? How are we activating Storm Count or Squall Count in this case? And it's like little 1-mana cantrippers. Andy, I went crazy.
Yeah, you did.
With this category. I went crazy and I put in so many of them and then in play testing, it's just like, oh, I don't have the cards I need. Cool. Just cast them for no reason, just to like cycle them through basically.
Right.
It's kind of like everything has cycle, but for casting it. Some of them have decent utility as well. Do you want to take this first one?
Sure. Cerulean Wisps is 1 blue for an instant that says target creature becomes blue until end of turn. Untap that creature, draw a card.
So in like not super useful in general, but when we're able to like make a creature have double strike spontaneously, this can be a useful way to like just surprise an opponent, like if they want to attack in. There is an outside use for it. We're also talking about Crash Through, red, sorcery. Creatures you control gain trample till end of turn, draw a card, right? You know, if all of our many tokens have been pumped and have trample, that's excellent.
That's very good. Yeah, we love that. We also have Crimson Wisps. This is one of the best ones. Red for an instant that says target creature becomes red and gains haste until end of turn. Draw a card.
Yeah, right. So here's the theme. Draw a card. So many draw cards. There's so much of the deck is that.
That's a classic Shu Yun thing. That's what you want to be doing because it's little spells that chain into other little spells is always very good with him.
Yeah, get that prowess count up too.
Yeah.
I have over 20 cards that are just simple draw spells like
over
this.
20. Wow.
Yes.
That's a lot. You did go crazy.
I went crazy, Andy. I went crazy. Somebody stop me.
How many of those make and okay, so I see your whole plan is to use Docent of Perfection Metallurgic Summonings to get the tokens, not to.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. When you said earlier you want the instants and sorceries to make spells to make the tokens, I thought you meant like, I don't know, like Call to Arms or whatever that card is.
Sure.
Like, I was like, of course. I was like, yeah, of course. That's how you make tokens. I get it though. I see what you're saying.
I mean, I don't have him on the list, but of course, Young Pyromancer's in the deck as well to make those elementals. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Great.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we're not gonna talk about all those, but like we got to pump up these tokens, right? Once we have a ton of tokens, we got to pump them up. One of my favorite cards to do this in these colors is Rally the Peasants. It's 2 and a white for an instant. Creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. It's not the best rate we can get for +2/+0 across the board, but it also has flashback for 2 and a red. So when you combine them, if you're ready to make your alpha strike and you don't need to do much else that turn, you can pump everybody by +4/+0, which is pretty big.
That is very, very big. Dyna Charge. This one's cool. This one makes it, I feel like, into a lot of Shu Yun decks. It's red, single red for an instant that says target creature you control gets +2/+0. Or it has Overload for 2 and a red. So this, where there instead of target, it's each creature gets +2/+0.
Yeah.
This one's good even if you like in a pinch, sort of, even if you just get it off just on Shu Yun. Right, giving him +2/+0 in addition to the prowess, and in addition, getting double strike and all that kind of stuff is really great. This one's wild.
It's that flexibility, and
yeah,
and I might add, we do run Zada in this deck.
Oh,
so
yes, of course.
If you have Zada, this counts for your whole team for the one, right? Like
yes,
you don't
exactly.
need to overload
it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
pretty
that's
neat.
Great. Yep.
Pretty neat. So, I mean, we have some pump spells. They're very fun, very useful, very important for tokens. But this is my favorite part of the deck. This is kind of like where we're going, the Squall part of it, right? What's the Squall at?
Yeah, what's your Squall count?
Yeah. So, not technically Storm, but cares about spell count, is Aetherflux Reservoir. 4 generic for an artifact. Whenever you cast a spell, you gain 1 life for each spell you've cast this turn. Pay 50 life, do 50 damage to target creature or player.
Love to see the time when someone does this to a creature. I would just love to see if that could ever or would ever happen. It'd be amazing.
I don't know.
It
would have to be. It would have to be like a last ditch. Like if I don't kill this creature, I die.
Yeah,
that's or like you'll infinitely combo or something like that.
And you can't kill the player who owns the creature because they have too much life or something.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Gutter Snipe is in here, of course. 2 and a red for the Goblin Shaman. That's a 2/2 and says whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Gutter Snipe deals 2 damage to each opponent.
Yeah. Is that a storm card?
That's a great card.
Not technically a storm card, but again,
loves to be around storm cards, definitely.
Yeah. So. Yeah, great. Let's talk about another not technically storm card, Sphinx Bone Wand. 7 generic for an artifact. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may put a charge counter on it. If you do, it deals damage equal to the number of charge counters on it to target creature or player. So, like, this is a tricky one because it seems fairly innocent right away. Everyone who knows how, like, this kind of mathematical system gets out of hand real quick. But at the beginning, it's like, okay, I'll cast my 1 mana cantrip, do 1 damage to you. Cool. I'll cast another one. I'll do 2 damage to you. Cool. I'll cast another one. I'll do 3 to you. It's like, that's nothing. That's 6 damage. But like, once you get to like 7 or 8, it's just like 2 or 3 spells and you can kill anybody.
It piles up so quickly.
So quickly.
Oh yeah, Sphinx Bone Wand. I mean, the biggest downside of it is that it costs 7 mana. So you play it and then you generally have to wait before you can really do any other stuff with it. Although in this deck, it seems like you can play it. That's still a prowess trigger. Let's say you had 7 or 8, maybe 9 mana, then you can still even probably play 1 or 2 other things. Judging by the look of these cantrips.
Yeah, they're all super cheap, and they're all right, exactly. And play it on instant speed, right? Like Sphinx Bone Wand also allows you to. You can, if you need to kill a creature with it, if you've got a few counters on it, that's also possible, right? Yeah. If it's going to save your life or save a couple of creatures or something, for sure.
And finally, here we have Haze of Rage. 1 and a red. Oh, hold on, wait. This isn't a Squall card.
I know, it's a real storm card.
It's a real storm.
I lied. There's a storm spell in this deck.
Oh man, Haze of Rage. 1 and a red has buyback 2. That's interesting. Creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn, and it has storm. So you play it, you buy it back for 4. That's +1/+0. That's assuming you didn't play any other spells this turn. Then you play it again for 4, and you get it and copy it once, right? So for 8 mana, you can have it give +3/+0, and then still have that card in your hand.
Yes, for 6 mana, you can do +3/+0.
Yeah, for 6 mana, you can get +3/+0 and not get it back, right?
But that is assuming you've cast no other spells that turn.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
You can.
If we can drop 2 or 3 spells, then 4 mana. Like I think most of the time we're only going to spend 2 on it. I think we're fine with it just being 2 mana for a +8.
You're not looking for that buyback.
No. At what point does the buyback? So.
Because you can go like 6 mana. You can go like cantrip, Haze of Rage with buyback. Like, that's pretty good. That's 1, 2, 3 spells. So when you cast it, you'll get +3/+0. And it's still in your hand.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not what I want, though.
You probably want more. You want it to be higher than that, because you're probably not going to do this again if this is going to be the last thing you do, right?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So the buyback is less important. The storm is, I guess, more important here.
Yeah, for sure.
Great.
Like I said, it is a storm card, and if I'm being fully honest, I don't have it here on the talking point list, but there is one more storm card in there.
Oh, okay.
And that is it's the one. What is it called? It's the white one that people sacrifice an attacking creature.
Oh, wing shards.
Wing shards.
Something like that. Yeah, wing shards. That's it. 1 white. Instant target player sacrifices an attacking creature and it has storm.
I have that in the deck because, like I said, a lot of our 1 mana spells are instant anyway, so we can ourselves get that up to 2 or 3 or 4 pretty easily, and a little bit of defense goes a long way sometimes. So. Especially if they have to sacrifice attacking creatures.
The killer thing about wing shards is that usually pretty much every time, you're going to cast this on your opponent's turn while they're attacking. And if they've cast any spells, that goes towards storm as well. So like you can really bump up the storm count on this in this deck, because you can also then cast like, oh, okay, fine. 1 little cantrip, 1 little cantrips, wing shards. they've also cast 2 spells this turn, so it's like, oh, now you're sacrificing 5 creatures or something.
And I'll remind everyone, if you can make profitable trades or even unprofitable trades to take creatures off the board, you can still cast it in the post-damage end of combat phase.
Yeah, the end
or
of
step.
combat phase, yeah.
Is that a step or a
I believe
phase?
it's a step. I think you're right. Yeah.
I think it's a step.
The end of combat.
Yeah,
step.
we can do that.
Yep, cool. That's a neat one.
Yeah, I mean, and then so like I want to talk about keeping it rolling, right? We got to keep this train rolling. We talked about metallurgic summonings, how that works that way. You can get all those things back out of the graveyard. What about Past in Flames? Past in Flames is 3 and a red for a sorcery. Each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until end of turn. The flashback cost is equal to its mana cost, and it itself flashes back for 4 and a red. So I'm assuming it's late in the game. You've cast a bunch of cards. Since we're drawing so many cards, we're playing lands almost every turn. We're doing pretty good. We can afford to cast one of these, get all our 1 mana things with flashback, and just keep that train rolling. That is why this category is called Keeping It Rolling.
Yeah, Past in Flames. Bit of a classic Storm card here. Bit of a classic spells deck thing.
Yeah.
You'll see this one pop up a lot. And it recently came down in price because it did get a reprint in Modern Masters 2017, which is nice.
Thank you, Modern Masters 2017. Oh, it got dropped a lot.
Yeah, because it shot up in price when Mizzix came out, I remember.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't that expensive. Then Mizzix came out, it shot up, and then they luckily brought it down again with Modern Masters. So that's nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, it sure is a stormy, squally deck.
Put your coat on.
Yeah, I like the idea of using these other Young Pyromancer and metallurgic summonings and things like that to create all those tokens. It's just a pure bonus for being able to make Shu Yun. It's like you've taken the Shu Yun deck and added another angle of attack, which is kind of what I think the Shu Yun deck needs.
Yeah, because if you keep Shu Yun off the table and that's your whole thing, well, I guess as an Ezzy strategy, any Voltron strategy, keep the commander down, they can't do anything. But this deck isn't all about that.
Yeah, I think so. The Shu Yun deck I built way back was all about Shu Yun, getting him in, making him unblockable, getting him through for huge damage. That deck is very fragile, very glass cannon. Like you can kill someone with it pretty easily. Once you get Shu Yun out, you do need a lot of mana, which is interesting because that double strike that costs 2, and if you're trying to do this with 6 mana, it can get really hard, right? You need the right combination of right cantrip spells and make sure you draw into other ones and all that kind of stuff. But this is less reliant on him getting through and being the only way you kill things. So I actually like it quite a bit more.
Right.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, and I think and this will come down to your meta. Does your meta fear Shu Yun? Is this the kind of, because if Shu Yun is deserving of fear, it's sort of like an infect deck in how fast it can attack people, sort of.
Yeah.
And if you can get some, if Shu Yun does not automatically draw hate right away, I think this could be a very fun deck. But sometimes Shu Yun does have a negative effect.
Well, even this, though, it's going to be a little bit different just because you're going to, like I said, it's a glass cannon, the other version, because you get in, you kill someone, and then everyone goes, oh, wow, okay, well, we need to stop you, obviously. And now it's just like you said, in fact, it's the same thing. It's like you might be able to kill someone really quickly, but killing the other 2 or even 3 is going to be really hard. That's where it gets really, really difficult. So having the backup of tokens both as blockers and as the way to even speed it up if you need to get into your attacks, I like this more than the previous version. I think this is really good.
It's fun, and I have to say too, what do we got? We got Dozens of Perfection, we got Metallurgic Summonings, so we didn't talk about them, but we got Young Pyromancer, we got Talrand. There aren't a ton of ways to make tokens. It's not but since we have so many 1 mana, I specifically looked for 1 mana cantrippy spells that had any sort of effect that could be useful in an outside case. A lot of them are just straight up one blue draw card, which I'm also fine with,
Yeah.
like an opt, like your opts, like those kind of things.
Mhm.
But like that, in a way, I mean, you lose a bit of tempo, 1 mana per, but you can sort of think of it like you're going to dig so hard to get to the cards you need.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think this is a new thing. Did you include Jeskai Ascendancy?
Ascendancy. I did. I didn't talk about it. Should we talk about it?
I don't know. I just wanted to know just because I was curious. But
yeah, Jeskai Ascendancies must have in this thing.
It really fits really well. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, creatures you control get +1/+1. So it kind of gives prowess to everything you have, and then you get to untap those creatures, and also you can you loot when you do it.
Yeah,
which is crazy. So you're right. That's a must-have in any Shu Yun deck, I would imagine. Probably any Jeskai deck, really.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's take a look at the 3 stars.
I mean, probably Jeskai Ascendancy should have been a 3 stars. But, the 3rd star is Metallurgic Summonings for the reasons we mentioned. It makes the tokens, and it can dip into our graveyard and get all our spells back late if we want to just do another round of it all.
Right on. Number 2 is Rise from the Tides, 5 and a blue for sorcery that says put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield, tap for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard. Yeah, this gives you that value after you've played a bunch of your cantrips, and obviously provides you with a lot of tokens. This is a good card in Epic Experiment. A lot of these cards are in Epic Experiment also, because it's obviously a similar type of deck in that it storms off a little bit. So yeah, Rise from the Tides is solid in those. It's definitely a card you want to draw later in the game as opposed to having your hand from the start, though, for sure.
Yes, that's ideal. And we didn't talk about it again, but like there's a card in here called Quicken. It's for a single blue. It's an instant. The next sorcery your card you play can be played as if it had flash, and it draws you a card. So worst case, it's a 1-mana cantrip, but that's amazing with Rise from the Tides because I can cast it as an instant on your end step, and now they are untapped on my turn, and then boom, bada boom.
That's exactly what you want, yeah. And the number 1 star,
Past in Flames.
We already talked about it. Past in Flames.
Yeah.
Is what's his face? Mizzix's Mastery? Is that card expensive? How did that fit in?
We will feature that in our out of budget section.
Oh, I didn't even see. Sorry, I didn't even.
Yes.
I didn't even look ahead.
Mizzix's Mastery is now out of budget.
Oh my god.
But it would go in here very nicely.
Of course, yeah, it'd be great. All right, what are the surprises and discoveries? Did anything catch your eye here?
Yes, a legit surprise and discovery. Jin Illuminatus. 5 is it. So 7 total. 2 of them got to be red or blue. It's a 3/5 flyer. Each instant and sorcery spell you cast has replicate. The replicate cost is equal to its mana cost. And what that means is when you cast it, copy it each time you paid its replicate cost. You may choose new targets for the copies.
Oh, wow.
Now, an important rules thing is copies are not cast.
Right.
Copying is different. So that does not increase your storm count.
It will also not increase your
Squall count.
No, what's the ability Shu Yun has? Why did I just forget?
Prowess.
Prowess. Thank you. It was a P.
Right. It's not prowess. It doesn't generate another token from those token things. But when I play a 1 blue draw card, I can just keep playing blue, 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 and draw 4 or 5 cards off of that one card. And now I'm going to go even deeper next time. And a secret combo that I found in the deck while playtesting it is with Gitaxian Probe. That's 1 blue Phyrexian. So you can pay it with 2 life over and over every time you want to replicate it. So you have to pay 0 mana and draw as many cards as you have times 2 life if you choose.
Yeah, take down that life total. Use that as a resource and draw some cards. Not bad.
Yeah, right?
Very cool.
Pretty fun.
Yeah, very fun. I have this card, and I remember I got it in like the Is It Golgari duel deck.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was a good one to pick up for Commander players, especially, a while ago. It was right around the time when basically like there were 2 or 3 cards in it that like cover the cost of it if you could find it for MSRP, and I managed to. And now Life from the Loam is like a $20 card, so it alone covers what you want it from out of there. Anyways, Jin Illuminatus is a card that's in that deck, and I remember being like, there's got to be a commander deck that will use this and will want it, and it's going to be very good in it. And I think we found it.
We found it. It makes me so happy, Andy, to find the perfect home for a card.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a 7-mana 3/5 flyer that has this weird replicate ability. Like this is, this is made for Commander.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of can we find where it belongs, and it's nice to find it. Speaking of finding the deck for somebody, Noyan Dar is your other surprise and discovery. Noyan Dar Royal Shaper, 3 white blue. Legendary Merfolk ally. It's 4/4, and it says whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may put 3 +1/+1 counters on target land you control. If you do, that land becomes a 0/0 elemental creature with haste that's still a land.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
This is a card that I remember seeing this in Battle for Zendikar and just being like, ooh, Commander. Ooh, is that what I want to ever do in Commander? Like, there's got to be something where you either build this around him or he's really good in the 99, and it looks like, again, same thing. Found it.
Yeah. And so, like, this is so then the uses we're going to do, we're either going to cast a ton of cantrips and, like, animate a bunch of different lands and go even wider. But there's nothing that says you can't keep putting the same counters on the same land and just make one ginormous land that we can make unblockable through one of our spells that do that.
That might be the better way to do it, right? Just because that way you're not opening up your land base from being completely destroyed from a board wipe or something.
The only other time I think I would actually go wide with him is if I had Jeskai Ascendancy going.
And then you
because
can
then it would untap your lands, and now we're talking combo, baby.
Yeah, now you're talking like maybe infinite combo town.
Yeah, right?
Right? Yeah, like with... Yeah, I'm sure there's something in here that combines to do something like that.
So we'll untap all the... So far we make one land into a creature, and then we untap it. Then we make another land into a creature. Now we untap 2 of them. Yeah, so our second one, we've profited mana.
Yeah.
Assuming it's 1 mana spells.
Yeah.
Which there's 20 of them.
I'm sure there's something you can do here that gets really degenerate for sure with Noyandar. That's really cool.
Yeah.
What about oh wait, okay. No. Great. Those are the surprising discoveries. Now it's time to talk about Wizard's Tower again real quick.
Ooh, Wizard's Tower. If you're in the Ottawa area, you should go play there. I got a chance to play there once or twice in the past. Once. I played there once, but I visited twice. I didn't have time to play one time. But yeah.
I never actually got to play. That's fun. I remember when you did that. That was around Canada Day, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was around Canada Day. Yeah. I was there for work, and I was like, ooh, I can sneak out and play a draft there. I opened an Avacyn.
Oh, wow. Sweet. The Shadows over Innistrad Avacyn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
I guess that tells you when I was there, huh?
Yeah, it sure does. I've been there a couple of times, but I've never played because it's always just like a stop in, like a little pop in to say hi, and then
it's tough.
Get driven home from the train station, which is right across the road.
Right. Yeah, you gotta book it. You gotta book that.
You gotta book it. Yeah. You definitely have to book it.
They're always doing so they sponsor another podcast called Disorganized Wizards Club, and they're a very competitive podcast about like standard, limited, modern. I always learn a lot listening to them, but they're always because like they're from Ottawa and they're at the stores constantly just dominating tournaments, but like. Man, there's so many like good tournaments going on at the Wizards Tower. Like someone won Player of the Year, so they get to draft for free all year or something like that. Like they got some sick prizes there.
That's very cool.
Make it out. Yeah.
I
anyway,
do that. Yeah.
I mean, I think Player of the Year is a points game. I think you have to play and do well in a lot of different tournaments.
Yeah, I'm sure you have to put in your fair share of drafting and so on.
Yeah.
Neat. Also check out mtgcanada.com for articles by the both of us.
The both.
Great. Now it's time for the budget report.
Beep, 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 beep. This is the part of the show where we take all of the cards, see which ones cost 1 penny, and loop them for infinity.
Because they will let us make more money.
Yeah.
Right?
Gotta have money to make money.
Yeah. Spend money to make money.
Got to spend money, make money, or have money? Which one is it?
It's spend.
Okay.
But this is the second time on this show that you've said that instead, though. So that's pretty funny. Yeah, okay. Rather budget report. What did we come in with this budget here? What's
Oh, I forgot to put it in. It was pretty cheap. It was like 46 or something like that.
Nice. Okay, that's good.
Yeah. And our third most expensive card. Well, this will be interesting. Great. So, first most expensive card, Relic of Progenitus. Single mana artifact. Tap. Target player exiles a card from his or her graveyard, or 1, exile Relic of Progenitus, exile all cards from graveyards, draw a card. This is not technically a 1-mana cantrip because it is not an instant or sorcery, but it is a cheap way to, and we can turn it into a card, and having graveyard hate is always important.
Always important. It's one of the best graveyard hate cards, especially if you can get it down early. Like, the earlier the better with this guy. It's interesting, you know, like cards like this, they never really come up on our show, because we never end up talking about these sort of generally good commander cards, especially ones that cost like $4.50. Like, this card's almost $5. It's like, I would look at this and go like, well, I'm just going to cut Relic of Progenitus from this deck for budget reasons, and I'll put it in something that's comparable but not as good. But I actually like that you left this in so we can sort of bring it up again. This is this is a great graveyard hate card, especially if you get it early, because you can really, you know, keep tapping it and making the one guy who cares about it exile cards, but also solid to just come down for 2 mana essentially and get rid of all graveyards. Gotta have graveyard hate. Yeah, have to have it, right?
Have to.
You must have it. And even I would even say like even not a dedicated graveyard deck is still going to use the graveyard on some level at some point, and it's good to just have 1 or 2 of these cards kicking around.
Yeah, and right, and so even if your opponent, like, because even some opponents want to use your graveyards too.
Yeah, totally.
So it's just like, get out of my graveyard, man. I'm gonna clear it so you can't have it.
Get out of my graveyard. Get out of there. Leave that alone. You're not supposed to be down there.
Another argument to cut this card is that it's a little bit of a non-bow with some of our strategies. We do want to be able to cast Past in Flames or Metallurgic Summoning, so like hopefully we can use this after the fact, but you know, you do what you got to do.
Yeah, you'll know when you want to use it, so you'll know if it's worth it or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, it will sting a little bit if you have to exile your Past in Flames. Speaking of Past in Flames, it is the second most expensive card in the deck at $3. But
and the third,
considering it's the first star, I'm guessing you're going to want to keep it.
Yeah, that's a keep for sure. And the third star is one of our 1-mana cantrips. It's Serum Visions.
Not third star, third most expensive, but yes.
Sorry, third most expensive card. Serum Visions, 1 blue, draw a card, scry 2. This is $2.50. This is for sure a cut because we have so many of them. We can find another one, no problem.
Yeah.
I didn't use all the ones that exist. There's many more that I could have used. For sure, this is a cut. But also, I think this is important to note. It's that family of, like, there's this and there's Ponder and there's Preordain. Each of those are like $3 or $4. I already cut those other ones because they're so expensive. They're very good and they're modern playable until they were banned.
I was gonna say they're banned, aren't they?
They are, but I'm sure they're like legacy or something.
I think they must still be played in. I think they might be like restricted in vintage, maybe. I don't know. What's the point of talking about it? We don't know.
But like Serum Visions is the modern legal one. That's the next best one that modern's allowed to have.
Yeah.
So like that one's a little pricey. It's just like, these are so interchangeable. We've already basically knocked like $6 or $7 off the deck. So we do have some room for these next out of budget cards if you really wanted to fit one of them in.
Yeah, it looks like it. First out of budget card is Mizzix's Mastery, the one I mentioned earlier. 3 in a red for a sorcery. It says exile target card that's an instant or sorcery from your graveyard. For each card exiled this way, copy it, and you may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. And you can exile, and then you exile Mizzix's Mastery, and then it has Overload for 5 and 3 red. So essentially what you want to do is you want to pay that full 8 mana, the Overload cost, exile all the instant or sorcery cards from your graveyard, and just play them all. So this won't storm you off, right, though? The only storm that will count is the Mizzix's Mastery.
Well, but I'm confused because you are casting the copy.
Oh yeah, you're right. No, yeah, you're right. No, it will because you cast it. This does not just place the copies on the stack, which is when it doesn't count for storm. If you cast it, yeah, that counts. Great.
Yeah.
Good. Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
This is an awesome card, and it's like $8, like Sean was saying earlier. Like this is right up there. Although according to this, we can find it for USD. We can find it for $7.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you got to look around, right? Like we're saying $8, but that's because we saw it on, whatever site we saw it on, like MTG Goldfish. But you can find it on TCG Player often for like $1 or $2 less if it's like a beat up version of it or something. So
Yeah.
And certain websites take that into consideration, and others don't, and others have their own pricing. So you got to take the pricing always with a little bit of a grain of salt. I'm sure you can find it for a bit cheaper.
Yeah. But and then one more out of budget card that I think that I want to bring up is Visions of Beyond. It's a single blue instant, draw a card. If a graveyard has 20 or more cards in it, draw 3 cards instead. So it turns into Ancestral Recall.
Oh yeah.
If a graveyard has 20 cards in it. This is up to $6.
Interesting.
Which is like, again, it's surprising to me how many of these single blue cards are so expensive, but I guess it's just because they're so cheap and so good. Like, of course everyone else wants them if we want them too.
Yeah, right. If it's good in Commander, I mean, Visions of Beyond, interesting. It's a good one. I mean, that's the ultimate type of cantrip where you're drawing more than just the one, so that's pretty solid. Great.
Yeah.
Great. There it is.
Oh, fun. I can't,
Shu
testing
Yun.
this deck is a blast. It's a pain in the butt because of the way Shu Yun triggers on the little program we use.
Yeah.
Because it says you have to pick a target even if you have no intention of ever using it.
Right.
Because it's like, I don't want to anymore. But it feels very good. I'll just make this general Commander statement. It feels good to see more of your deck.
Yes,
right?
It certainly does.
Like, let me just get through. Like, I'm going to see 30 or 40 cards every time, right? And it's going to feel great. Hi, Leia.
Jesus. Leia, you're killing me here, bud. Okay. Sorry, my cat just unplugged my headphones. Insisted on walking around on the desk on which we record the show. Yeah, that's it. I love seeing more of the deck. That's you always feel good when, even if you didn't win, you did a lot of what your deck wanted to do. I know that's always a very good feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the main arguments for like put in tons of card draw in your decks. You will not regret it. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
you won't regret it.
You always want to cut this because, I want to put this synergizing thing in. I want to put this in there. It's like, play your spells. Be able to play your spells. You'll always feel better. Even if, you sacrifice a tiny bit of power level for it, it's always going to be worth it. That's just a general, I think, Commander, bit of advice that works.
Yep.
It's
good advice. Little cheap stuff, right?
Little cheap stuff, yeah.
I love it. I can't wait to put this together in real life, and I can't wait to just flip 1,000,000 cards.
Yeah, and make 1,000,000 tokens while you're at it.
Oh boy, I need to buy more tokens. Where's RK Post?
Great. Guys, this was a very fun episode. Thanks for listening / watching.
/jogging / doing the dishes.
/ driving, yeah.
/ vacuuming.
Yeah, any of the things that you do while listening to the show.
/ the laundry. I do a lot of.
You do a lot of laundry, yeah.
Podcast while I fold laundry.
I always listen to podcasts while doing the dishes. That's what I do.
Yeah,
big time. And remember, visually, you can check us out on YouTube. That will be very helpful for you when you get to the Commander's Brews news segment, which is what's coming up next. And you can also check that out as like its own little channel on our YouTube channel. So there you have it. Okay, well, we'll see you guys next week. But there's a Brews news coming up right now. Goodbye.
Bye.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Brews News. I'm Andy.
And I'm Sean.
On today's show, it's another Bruce and Bruce watching DVDs.
Welcome to another edition of Bruce and Bruce watching DVDs. Come on in, Slam, and welcome to the jam. We watched Space Jam, a classic Warner Brothers tale where Michael Jordan, basketball's greatest player, goes into a cartoon to rescue his teammates who got turned into the Monstars. It stars your Looney Tunes classic, Bugs, Daffy, Porky Pig, and Marvin the Martian plays the referee because he's neither a monster nor a Looney Tune. I think this movie is a great soundtrack, it's a great sports movie, and cameos by Bill Murray. I loved it.
Where I am from, we have a sport you play, and it is where you take 7 head of disgraced village member, and you try and shove it in through one of the holes up under the town hall. You have to only hit it with hip or knee. If you hit with anything else, you become disgraced village member.
Ooh, and then do they cut your head off?
Yes.
Well, could you imagine what it would be like if a bunch of cartoon characters came to avenge your severed head?
Ah, yes, well, this is a plot of most movies where I am from. Cartoon characters come to avenge a severed head guy's death.
Now, Bruce, I know in the past you've gotten confused about some of the conventions and DVDs. How do you feel about cartoon characters mixing with real-life actors?
This was confusing to Bruce. I have a problem understanding which one is real man, which one is a cartoon man. Some of the cartoon men look like the men from before, the Monstars. Also, why is Sean Bradley in this movie?
Oh, he's one of the basketball players. Bruce, that's a very good question. On Earth, he's known as a bad basketball player. So the fact that they chose him is an interesting choice for the movie. Also,
I mean, his lifetime stats are fine, but why is he one of the Monstars? We have Hall of Famers here.
Well, Bruce, that's a very good question. I hadn't thought of that. Maybe because the Monstars need that flaw. They need that tragic flaw, as all villains do, so they can be defeated by the good team, by the heroes, by Michael Jordan, Bugs Bunny, and that girl bunny.
The girl bunnies seem to have been made up for this movie.
Yes, she does not exist in any other movies.
Great choice. So, Bruce, you tell me, you have beloved the Looney Tunes from day one.
Yes.
You are a fan of the Looney Tunes from a long time before.
Yes.
How do you like this movie?
I think this movie is wonderful. It tells us all that if we believe we can fly, then we can. If we want to paint a tunnel on a wall and run through it and break through to the other side, we can do that too. And if we get squished into a flat pancake, you just gotta shake yourself up, blow into your thumb, and inflate yourself again, and just keep on moving.
And if you get your head cut off because you're a disgraced villager, you apply special serum and attach head again and hope that the dark gods will reanimate your body and brain.
Bruce, one of these weeks we should do one of your movies. These sound very interesting, but I give Space Jam 5 animated pencils out of 5.
I think this movie was not too good. I'm gonna give this movie two Dallas Mavericks out of 17 Seattle Supersonics.
Bruce, I am impressed at the research you've done on Earth basketball.
Bruce is a bit of a ball head. Ball is life.
True.
I've got a basketball Jones.
I don't know what that means, but I have one too.
That's it for us this week. We're gonna come back next week and do a new DVD.
Thanks for watching.
Good night. Sean Bradley was very tall. This may be his only skill in basketball.
But I thought all basketball players were tall.
Yes, he is especially tall. He is 7'6" or something. He's very tall.
That sounds unhealthy.
Yes, he very unhealthy. But he able to put the ball in simply by doing this. I think. Yes?
I'm uncomfortable with hands near my head.
Oh, I'm
near
sorry.
my-
I didn't mean
Please,
to.
please don't.
Okay, well, good job today.
I don't like germs.
Good job.
Bit of a germ.
You're a bit of a jerk.
Well, I for one really love Space Jam.
Yeah, I personally love the Tasmanian Devil's performance. I think he was great in it.
Great.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it for us. We're all tapped up for the week, so we'll pass the turn to you.
Bye.
Everybody get
up, it's time to slam now. We got the real jam going on. Welcome to the Space Jam. It's your jams, do your dance at the Space Jam. All right. I do enjoy the Quad City DJs.
If you want to contact us, I'm at Sean Tabaris.
And I'm at Andy Holbone.
Send us an email at commandersbrew@gmail.com.
You can find out when we go live on Twitch if you follow us at twitch.tv.
And if you care to support us on Patreon, check us out at patreon.com.
And you can find our deck list on tappedout.net.
And if we forgot anything, commandersbrew.com.